Hello everybody and welcome to this special magical reading. So I loved the Sabian symbol that came out for us for this time around. It's Cancer 7 from the Sabian symbols. Two nature spirits dancing under the moonlight. And immediately, and not surprisingly, I started hearing the song Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. It's one of my favorite tunes, always on my playlists. It's just the lightness of that song, and there's one particular line in the lyrics that really stood out to me as I was tapping into this energy for us all for this reading. And it's this line: you can't dance and stay uptight. And I think, this nature spirit symbol, this does come up a fair amount in my work. It's interesting how many people actually have this symbol in their astrology charts. And I do believe it sort of is a magnetic response. I feel like people come to me for those readings because there's this underlying kind of nature spirit or fairy elemental kind of energy. And that's something that I'm very tapped into, and it's very present here where we live. And so this energy, I'm learning as I go, because as I say, I work with this symbol a lot. And the thing with the fairies that I have learned, and the elementals overall, and animals are also in this category, is it's a real sense of simplicity and just a lightness overall. And the elementals, and this definitely includes animals. I mean, I do animal communication and healing sessions, and animals don't have the drama that we think they do. Humans really love to project that drama aspect onto the story of the animal, like if they've had a really tortured past. But the animal can have gone through something difficult and certainly have reactions to it. I've worked with horses that have a really negative reaction to specifically men wearing hats, which is interesting. Because of their background, because they've been trained after so many instances of this to have almost like a Pavlov's dog's response. I see this man with the hat, whatever, cowboy hat, what have you. And this is always what happens to me when he's around. And so it's not a welcoming energy. It's not a soothing energy. And so the reason I'm bringing this up, I think, is because it is this sort of Pavlov's dog existence that we get into. And we're really not that different from the elementals. We have that energy within all of us. And the invitation is to go back to this place where you can't dance and stay uptight, You can't, this response of, I have to make a list and I have to get these things done, and I have to process this, and I have to be sad, or it's all of these shoulds, or I have to. That is this Pavlov's dog's response that I'm getting through this energy. And, the elementals just want to lighten things and make you feel like the choice to dance, is always available. That choice to be light on your feet, to change your rhythm a little bit, to do silly things like going out in the middle of the night and literally dancing under the moonlight, of changing your momentum where and when you feel really called to do so. These are all it's all available, and really this fairy or nature spirit kind of energy doesn't see us do it too often, because it's something that I keep getting as a message, not only for myself, but also in all of my messages, is clearly they think this isn't talked about enough. And it's something that I have ready access to. And it's just a feeling of like, why have we got to make it so hard? You know? Why have we got to make it so hard? And so, in essence, to sort of break up the rhythm of your life right now, whatever you're going through. And things might be great, by the way. This isn't necessarily negative stuff. It's just to add a little, we want to add a little syncopation. That's one of my favorite music terms, because it's really like it's offbeat, and there's no real, like, there's a rhythm to it, but it's not what's expected. So that's what's being invited. So this idea of syncopation coming in, kind of being on the offbeat, not on the beat. Because we all know how to live on the beat. You don't need me to give you a message about that. It's about living in the offbeat, you know, and you don't have to be radical about it, but just it's adding a little bit of a pause or a go in your day. And so this symbol just tells me these messages, the cards are going to reveal something that is this nature spirit, and they're inviting you to be that. Excuse me, allergy season is alive and well. The nature spirits are inviting that part of you, your own inner nature spirit, to go on this little adventure with one other nature spirit, because in our symbol it's two nature spirits dancing under the moonlight. So you, paired with another nature spirit, are going to be on a bit of a fun mission. And the mission is going to be talked about using crystals that I've dowsed for. And what I really love about the crystals, as I was saying, again, elemental energy is very simple in nature. Anything that is complex and really difficult to understand, multi-layered, multifaceted, you know, so many options that it makes your head explode. That is not elemental energy. Elemental energy keeps it straight, sweet, short, and efficient. And most of all, just really focused on not a whole lineup of work, like years of toil and sacrifice to get to something, but rather, put in a little bit of work towards something and then see how things shape up, see how the energy is there to greet you, to meet you, to help you. And it sort of is a symbiotic energy relationship that falls into place, where you aren't the one having to do the heavy lifting and every single ounce of the work that's involved with whatever. It's allowing some kind of a lightness to come into play, where you aren't using those Pavlov dog signals to determine what every step is along the way. So this idea of the simplicity really matches. We got red, green, and blue. Really elemental, like super. This is, I don't think I can hold them all up. Here we go. Red, green, and blue. These are the crystals for this week. This is the epitome of what I'm talking about. It's very elementary, my dear. That's the kind of thing that they're communicating to me all the time. Why are you making this harder than it needs to be? How about just looking at this as an adventure and what is gained every time you take a step on the adventure? And by looking at it through that lens, like, I wonder what I'm going to learn or discover about myself in the process of all this, is something that humans don't invite in all that often. So, in any case, the reading is going to be in regards to going on an adventure with your own. It's your inner nature spirit meeting up with another nature spirit. I love this. It's got a lightness to it. And I just think we really need this right now. I mean, I just, things feel They feel heavy in the collective of humanity, but I feel the potential, the option for lightness that is there. Like throwing all that other stuff to the curb and really understanding where it benefits your energy to focus. Does it really benefit when you get wound up in some kind of any number of the topics going on today? Does it really help to kind of sit and spin, as I call it, in that kind of energy? Or are you invited to go on this adventure? What we're doing today is always available to you. And you're not being a child, you're not being immature, you're not being unpractical. You're not hurting yourself in any way by expanding your energy and your mind in this way. To send yourself on a bit of an adventure, and you can do this just as easily, whether you have cards or not. You can sit down with a journal and have this kind of an adventure experience, okay? So it's always possible, it's always available. So let's get to the cards. So for those of you that picked card number 1, this is from the Mystical Moments Tarot. So again, the cards are going to represent the feeling of this other nature spirit who's going to accompany you on your adventure, on your fun mission, as I was told. And this is the 4 of Pentacles. So we can see lady behind the gate. She's got what she needs. She's not looking to engage in more. And the 4 of Pentacles typically is a man who he's got a pentacle under each of his feet. He's seated and he's grabbing these other 2 pentacles. And it's kind of a mine kind of energy, very protective. And that's the essence of who this nature spirit is for you. That this nature spirit is whispering to you, you've got what you need. You've got what you need. It isn't about going out there and just constant striving to be more. Constant achievement. There have to be pauses. Remember I said in the intro this idea of syncopation. Syncopation is this very offbeat kind of a rhythm to it in music. And so I just love it because it's totally not predictable. And when you step back and realize, what if I do indeed have all that I need They're stopping me right there. I'm as human cat wanting to add more for you, and they're like, no, that's it. And it's the fact that all of this is deeper. It goes deeper because we just so readily want to keep adding to our life. We want to keep putting new desires out there. We want to, and I'm all for expansion. I'm like this too. I'm a voracious learner. I love learning new subjects. However, these glasses, it's hot. I gotta take those off for a minute. It's the fact that it's just we are so voracious in that ability to achieve and learn and do and da 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 da. It's just like Pavlov's dogs. What they learn to do is to hit the lever or press the bell, and then they would get the treat. And it's almost like that's built right in there, like a systematic response. And this fairy, this nature spirit, wants to tell you, no, you got what you need right here, right now. This isn't in any way a negative connotation. And this is just a little side detour. It doesn't mean you give up on all the things you're trying to do with your life. Again, I'm all for that. I'm your biggest cheerleader when it comes to doing things that expand you, that take you into new areas of interest, because I see what it does to people's energy. I know what it does to my own energy. So this is just a little detour here with this adventure. And what this nature spirit wants to get across to you, this fun mission that you go on together, has to do with this piece of red jasper. And this goes by the name Roots, actually. And it's definitely got that red clay. It's also got the red ant kind of energy to it. So there's a fired up feeling about it, but it's also very, very well established. And this speaks more to this what this card has said to you, is the fact that it's about digging deeper in what you already know. And I don't think that exploration has been completed in any way, shape, or form. I think there's so much material there, so much content, so many options for reflection, that is where you could really benefit. What is it that I do know? What is it that I already have? And maybe it could be that you're doing things with what you already have, whether it's knowledge or material items or money that you have or what have you. But I feel like it's more about really basking and using what you have. It isn't about taking that and making that more, because that's that expansion energy that these nature spirits are just trying to add in, that syncopation. It's just a little mix in the rhythm just for a minute, So really think about, on this fun excursion that you have available to you with this fairy that says you've got everything that you need. You've got it. And this little nature spirit can show you what that is. I mean, this is an opportunity for those that like to journal, or you could do it through drawing, painting, what have you, or just meditation, getting information from this nature spirit that really speaks to you, that has to do with your roots, and really thinking back to, what did I enjoy in my younger years? What, not only as a child, but even as a young adult. And that I had those interests built within me, and then I very quickly discarded of them in order to go on a new kind of journey, always expanding. And again, don't get me wrong, I think that's good. I think that's natural. But there's something really special about when you can break up the energy a little bit and get back to these basics of what you already know, who you know yourself to be. What is it that you're really, really good at? What is it that you really, really enjoy that you can do so easily right now? This nature spirit wants to remind you of that and wants you to get back to that, just for little bits of time. That's how the fairies work. They work in little chunks of time, and then they take opportunities to enjoy, to take part in, to be a part of something bigger, to rest, all of those things, to nourish oneself. It's just not always about the relentless drive, and it's all within you. The second card is from the Way of the Horse deck, and I'm going to put my glasses back on because I like to read these descriptions from Linda Kohanov. She's such an excellent writer and has a great way about her with these messages. So this is number 35, and I think this is Demeter. It's a really odd image. It's this horse dressed up like a goddess, And there is a dolphin coming out of one hand and a dove coming out of the other. So it's a really odd image, but then there's quite a bit to this entry in her book, but I'm just going to read the beginning portion. This is card number 35. Okay. Taking me a minute to get there. See, this is exactly, I'm always right in the energies with the fairies. They really slow everything down when I'm trying to go too fast. They really like, bring your cadence down, girl. We don't work like that. So this is the Keeper of the Mysteries. The themes are initiation, intelligence in nature, borderland personality. A dove and a dolphin leap from the hands of the mare-headed goddess, a figure so ancient and mysterious she was almost lost to history. The gift of this is Demeter meets you in the cave of initiation, holding the promise of peace, prophecy, expanded consciousness, and a deeper, more soulful relationship with nature. The challenge is past traumas must be faced to reclaim power that was taken from you. Yeah. So again, this is the energy of this other nature spirit who wants to have this little fun adventure with you, a fun mission of sorts. And it's I'm really sensing this points back to something, an energy within you, that when you call upon your own nature spirit, your own elemental energy, that's the way I would term it. You don't have to be specific that it's a fairy or a nature spirit or animal. It's just elemental. That's the category of the energy. And when you call upon this, that part of you, that elemental part of you, is very ancient. Very ancient. You can certainly read about Demeter, but I think that's less important in this case. The nature spirit is just trying to say to you, there's something that you're ready. It is an initiation of sorts. That's at the core of this card. There's something within you that is really, what I'm seeing is like it's a timer that's about to go off, like a baking timer. And it's something that it's been rising, and it's just really ready. It's ready. And so, what's the best way for me to put this? So what the nature spirit is wanting is just for you to have a companion of sorts. And whether this is just through journaling or meditation or what have you, that you're connecting with the elementals in general, or if this is more about a friend or a family member or a colleague, whatever, somebody that you can talk about these things with, it feels like it's very important in your case to have a source that you can talk to. Okay? I'm being slow and careful with my words here because I don't want it to seem that it feels like an important time. It feels like a sacred time. And that you need either a person or an energy, and those can be equally powerful. There is nothing that is not powerful about connecting with an energy like the elementals. And if you have a particular group within what I'm broadly calling the elementals, whether that is fairies or sprites or the animal kingdom or even the insect world, like all of that is under elementals. And so you can call, or the birds, you can call upon them and find a partner. Find a partner. I don't know why that feels like really important for this. But certainly this, because this is the nature of that particular nature spirit that wants to be next to you on this adventure, this is a real significant, ancient, wise source. So if you're picking a person, it needs to be somebody who can appreciate ancient wisdom. And these are like, all of that wisdom lives inside you. And especially those of you that chose this card, it's right there. But you need another energy to work with, to talk about it, to tell about it. I'm actually getting more like a storyteller kind of an energy to this. Somebody that, an energy, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be another human. And to be honest, sometimes even children are the best ones to talk about this because they're much more open to it. But it's like just a knowing. How you know it's that ancient wisdom is, it's a knowing that has been coming to you for a very long time, over time. And the knowing itself, because don't forget, there's the dolphin and the dove that are a big part of this message. That ancient wisdom brings both a sense of peace, but also friendliness and loyalty. So it's all three of those: peace, friendliness, and loyalty, all being in the mix here, and being open to whatever that may be. And it might go against parts of who you are that you've always been, but still this feeling, this knowing has been coming up over time, and only you will know what that is. So again, it's about finding a buddy, and it again is not a big deal, and it's not hard to sit there. Let's say, I mean, my preferred version is with a journal, and I'll go down right by the water. And for me, I always tap in with the fairies. Sometimes I tap in with the horses. It's one of those two usually. And I just say, I need a partner. I need a partner, and I know you're here to help. I know you are my natural partners in life anyway. And let's just have a little fun brainstorming. Let's have fun remembering some things. And I'll just sit and write whatever comes, because it's their energy that is helping me to reflect. There's an importance in having an energy of two, whether that be in an etheric sense, an energy that is not incarnate, or finding another human who you can talk about these things with and bounce it around. I mean, that's the important thing about, think about how ancient wisdom came to be. It's because it was bantered around and it was tried out. It was tested, so to speak. And it became kind of universal truth at some point. So something big. I see this timer is like about to go off, and what that indicates to me is, the bread is almost, it's a timer that the bread is rising, the bread dough. And so it's almost done with that process of rising, so that then it can go into the oven and be made into something that we therefore then nourish ourselves with and nourish others with. And remember, it very much has to do with friendship, kindness, connection, and peace. Those kinds of feelings to it, okay? So and the subject around this is my piece of malachite. This is is a tiny little sliver of malachite, and it's not particularly well polished or anything. and not the prettiest thing. The shapes and patterns within it are quite interesting, but I've seen other pieces of malachite that are just like drop dead gorgeous, and still this is what I hold on to for my malachite, and this goes by the name auger, and it speaks to, it's got a real strong energy of Scorpio with this piece, because it's how I look at Scorpio energy. It wants to go down, down, down to find the source of something. And it won't let up until it finds the source. And you're looking for very deep, ancient wisdom. So don't give up. Don't give up. You just keep putting in the effort to connect, whether it's with another human that you trust, that you really like talking about these subjects with. And you know, this has been coming up for me more and more over the years, and I feel like now it's time for me to kind of integrate and live according to this, or make it a part of my life somehow, and help to guide and direct my life. And so I just, yeah, I'm really feeling, I'm hearing, don't give up. Just keep going down, 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 and keep asking the questions. This is something I learned in my marketing career, and particularly as I was interviewing patients for patient stories. I would find ways to very gently ask, so how did that make you feel? And it was essentially, so what? So what? Keep asking yourself that question until you get to the bedrock emotion or core topic that's at the base, where you don't have any other so whats to answer, because it becomes complete at that point. And that's this relentless energy of auger, okay? Is just keep digging on that, because something is rising for you, and I don't think it's going to take much to get there. But again, the whole meaning behind this reading is to bring that lightness, that syncopation, that, you know, what was the line? You can't dance and stay uptight. That was the line from the song. You can't dance and stay uptight. It's wanting to let, just like when you're dancing to syncopated music, it's wanting to let that go, you know, and not stay in these Pavlov dog modes of reaction and modes of behavior and modes of reaction overall. It's meant to break that up. That's what the elementals are really good about doing. That's why people feel so good after they ride, because it's something completely different, you know. Or you feel it when you're in a place where the elemental energy is very, very strong, such as here. You're changed, you know. And that's the way this wisdom will feel when it rises. You feel changed. And you'll feel like winds of change, big time. You'll feel like, I can't unknow that now. It's one of my favorite phrases, you can't unknow that. And so it just sticks with you, and you end up looking at the world through that lens more and more and more, because it just feels like truth, you know. And we've all got those things, this wisdom within us. Your time is here. Wow, that's really powerful. Okay, the third card is from the Healing with the Fairies deck. Love this. And this is Trust Your Intuition. Okay. So this is the energy, remember, of the other nature spirit that wants to be on this fun adventure with you. And this fairy, this little spirit, wants to make music, I mean, listen to how loud these things are. Yeah. One just wants, an intuition can be described like music, because anybody who knows a true musician, I really see it with John Baptiste, he has a little bit that he does on Stephen Colbert's late night show, but he also did, I think, the music for the animated movie Soul, which he ended up winning that category for the Oscars. And it's to watch him, he plays the piano, it's that the music moves through him. The music becomes him. And it's this, just like these chimes, there's two different ones here. It's this, sometimes the low bass notes, sometimes the high notes, sometimes there's a whole lot of clanging going on together. Intuition can just be, what I'm feeling here is, this is as natural as your blood flow. It's as natural as all of your natural bodily actions that take place, the natural things that kind of the stages that our psyche goes through, not only as we grow up, but also as we go through certain kinds of events and happenings in our life, as we enter into new love relationships or friendships. There's just these stages that I feel that they just naturally unfold. Interesting. And this nature spirit energy is just wanting you to celebrate this very natural unfolding. That's really interesting. I never thought about that before, but that's what's coming up. And it says, it runs as simply and easily and reliably as the blood through your veins. And just like that, no sound. It's just these natural rhythms that I'm feeling. And because it's trust your intuition, I think you're getting a lot of help from non-embodied sources. So, definitely the elementals are involved here because of this reading. But also, loved ones you have in spirit, and any other sort of ascended masters that you look to, or energies overall. If you look to God or Jesus or Buddha, or, my favorite is Kuan Yin. There's so many. Ganesh is another one that I connect with a lot. But you also don't have to, because they keep reminding me, but this is as easy, that's their word, it's as easy as lifeblood. It just flows. And so to not doubt it, to not wonder, did I really connect? I don't know. Could I really be seeing these things or feeling these things? The thing is, when epiphanies occur to you in this state, I think what you're doing is you're enjoying this it's a very magical part of who we are, our intuition. Because anything that comes in as sort of an epiphany, an idea, that is you working with spirit, essentially. Because that's where the epiphany comes from. And our human mind may not want to believe that, because I do feel a little resistance energy as I say that. But I know this is the truth. I know it is, because it's something that has come in, and you will know, that it really is that, because it will be a thought or an idea or an action that has been right in front of your face all along, and perhaps always been an option, but you've never really thought about it. You've never really even considered it. You've never even thought wouldn't have even occurred to you. But then suddenly it does. And it's like everything with the world seems right when you allow that to come in, and then you decide to take action on it. It makes the world simpler somehow. And that's how you especially know if you're working with the elementals. But really, any divine source, I would say overall, those inspirations and epiphanies, these are just things that are coming in to actually make our lives feel more fulfilled. And a lot of times it's narrowing down our focus or getting us moving in our energy in a different direction, because the energy where we've been going is used up. It's done, you know. There's nothing more to expend, to offer there. And so it's more productive. It feels more fulfilling for us to move in a different direction. And that's kind of can be the source of where and why these epiphanies show up. But to know that that is a really strong indication of spiritual help along your path. So this nature fairy is interested in really looking at this lifeblood that you have, this magical lifeblood that is always there, and they're specifically pointing to epiphanies as being something for you to watch out for. And then related to your little fun mission together, my lapis lazuli came up, and this is magic carpet, one of the pieces along with the malachite that I showed for the last card. These are two of the very first pieces I ever got. And boy, do I ever love this lapis. This is like, it's the energy of rising up above a situation, and I don't mean that exactly how it's sounding. It's just elevating your consciousness above whatever you might be in right now. It's taking a higher stance and taking a broader look around, like that special view when you climb a mountain. It's a very different view, obviously, than it is when you're on the ground level, you know? And it's so amazing, like, to look out over a lake, you know, versus being in a boat on the lake. And that they're just two very divergent experiences. And so this is where this nature fairy, wants to take you, little visitor there, is on the magic carpet. Is what better way to see your magic than to step onto that magic carpet that this nature spirit has for you, and to look down at your life. And I mean this just from a perspective viewpoint. To look at your life and to see this natural, it's more than just the intuition, it's the natural unfolding of everything. And that when you look back, it's almost an amazement about being human, because when you look back at your life, you can see, you know, that was a really stuck part of my life, and I didn't think I was ever going to get through it. And then something happened and I did. And now I'm way on the other side of that. And something that I thought was going to take me to my knees just passed and was no longer a part of my life anymore. Was no longer like a daily point of focus for me any longer. And it's this natural unfolding. That's really what they're wanting me to focus on, is the amazement with the natural unfolding of your life. It is truly amazing, and part of that is these natural cycles, you know, is going from those moments of complete stillness and quiet into clang, 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 you know. And no matter how loud that noise level is, that it's all just a part of the process, and that all of this just naturally plays itself out. You can count on that. It's why we get up every day. It's why there is progression in our lives, almost regardless of us doing anything about it. It's just a progression, and it's an amazement to see when you look back at that, how many things you have stepped through. And when you think about it, even if the steps took some work and some diligence, I'm not saying there wasn't any work involved, but it's the fact that it just kind of played itself out naturally. It kind of showed up for you, and it led you through it. And there's a lot of help in the divine during those moments. So that's really what this nature spirit wants to focus on with you. It's kind of an amazement about your life. And it could be inviting the way, making the way for some new epiphanies to come in. You never know. Because when we show gratitude, true gratitude, for just how things play out, life can look pretty amazing in those moments. Pretty damn amazing. Okay? Enjoy your time on the magic carpet. Okay, everybody, there we go. There's your messages for this time around. Hopefully a lighter, brighter message. I just love working with the nature spirits and the elementals overall, and always feel that you can sit with them, that you can call them in, because you have that same nature within you. And so they are there at the ready whenever you are. Bye-bye for now, friends.